This is your boy, Darilus. This is your boy, Darilus. This is your boy, Darilus. One love, God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Yvens Darilus podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, the Yvens Darilus podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, the Yvens Darilus podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Yvens Darilus podcast. This is your host, Yvens Darilus, and you are with the Yvens Darilus podcast. Today's episode, we are taking a look at building a foundation. That's what today's topic is about: building a foundation, whether it be in your relationships, whether it be in life. It's a metaphor for building. Excuse me. As y'all may know, I've been trying to jumble and try to find a steady slot for the podcast, but I think I'm going to return it to the way that we've been doing it, Friday nights. I've at least when I upload it, it'd be Friday nights usually. So I'm going to try to do something in the process to see what slot works best for us. So bear with me as we go through this transition. There's a lot of personal stuff that's happening behind the scenes, So that's what's been going on. I've been trying to find a great layout, a great foundation, so I can build my podcast. Like building foundation, we definitely trying to build foundations here. My motto is my thing is, if I could touch one person with this podcast, I feel like I've accomplished something, because every day we go through things, and we need to. Sometimes we stumble, sometimes we fall, and we need building blocks to build ourselves back up. Emotionally, we have to build our foundation. Physically, we need to build a foundation. Every time, in every place, we have to build the foundation. Life is not what it's cracked up to be. We try our best. We move the way that we can. We strive to achieve, to progress. And as time moves on, we will progress together. I wanted to locate something about building a strong foundation. I'm sorry, I had to put my phone on vibrate. Okay. I'm gonna find the definition of foundation. That's how we always do it on our podcast episode. Bear with me. Okay. Foundation is the lowest load bearing part of the building, typically ground level, right? Okay. You know how, like, when Drake said, "Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team's here. Started from the bottom, now we're here." Even he laid the foundation. The foundation began with his parents, who created him, and then he went on to create his career, his path, his journey, his where he's at now. And that's like a good metaphor for how a lot of us are. We started from the bottom, and we gradually go up. But sometimes that foundation has cracks in it. Foundation will come down when if you don't patch a crack in the foundation, it comes tumbling down. This year I've faced, like, I'm gonna use myself as a personal example. Like myself, I have had to restart. I've had to reset. I don't feel like getting into details right now at this period of time, but I've had to go back and rebuild a foundation. I had to go rebuild myself, rebuild my confidence, rebuild my foundation, my core, my values, my essence, my presence. It's just that everybody has to go through something in life. So you get rebuilt, you get a new foundation. You you have to build your foundation brick by brick. Even in religion is brick by brick. You build your foundation with your spiritual life. You come into Christianity kind of like an infant that is is learning the ways of the world, learning to recollect things, to pick up thoughts, to see where things go, to start crawling, to walk, to eventually running. On some of us, some of us infants, some of us as adolescents or infants, skipped the walking altogether and just ran and just started running. You know, so I say this to say this. When you have a foundation, like if you're talking about relationship wise, you have a foundation. Um, Sometimes it's good at the beginning. You have to get to know each other. You establish your boundaries, your likes and dislikes. You get to know each other. You get to know, even in friendships, that's how you build it. You build it with a foundation. You get to know what this person's name is. What's your name? How are you? What are you doing? What is your interest? What piques your interest? Um, who are you? What tell me about yourself. Just like in job interviews, they're trying to get to know you. They're trying to build a foundation with you. They're trying to build a a rapport with you. Be it as it may. They build a rapport. They try to get to know you. They're trying to build a foundation, build a common ground. Because no one, when you first come in to this world, you don't really know anybody but the people in the hospital room, your parents, and you gradually learn them, and they learn you because you're new to each other. You've been you've been inside the womb. You've heard the voices. You've heard your parents' voices. You heard them talk to you. You heard them you heard your mom feeding you, giving you the nurture, and then you finally see her for the first time. You see your mother. You see, and then you guys create a bond. You guys create your foundation. The mother's bond with their child is like no other. A mother will always love their child, no matter what, no matter the mistakes, no matter what they do, no matter what comes in their way, no matter what. The mother is always going to love you and always going to fight for you and always going to want you to do the best that you can. And they start that foundation of love from before your eyes even meet each other, before they hear that first cry. The foundation has been established from the moment that your parents got together. Their foundation was built. Your foundation with your mom and your dad is becoming built. You learn your parents. And parents, you learn your children. In siblings, you learn your sibling because the foundation has been built. You guys have talked to one another. You have got to learn. You have learned one another. And there's things that even even with your siblings, hidden talents, hidden thing meanings. Sometimes they keep it to themselves, but you know your siblings, your parents, your children's potential. And it's all about building a foundation, building a foundation. If you build on a wobbly foundation, what happens? It can fall, it can crack. Not every foundation is going to be built symmetrically. Think of it this way: you have arguments, that's a crack in your foundation. You have worry, that's a crack in your foundation. You speak ill of someone, or someone speaks ill of you, that's a crack in your foundation and their foundation. We establish our foundation, we establish our boundaries, we establish the way that we perceive things. And the building of the foundation is imminent. We have to understand that when we build the foundation, we're in the mindset of we want this to last. We want this to be generational. We want this to be forever. Even after we're gone, the relationships that we establish, the friendships that we establish, the acquaintanceship that we establish, we want to leave a lasting impression on the person. And what do we do and how do we do that? And that's by building our foundation. Our foundation is everything to us. We have to build something in order to create something. You have thoughts and ideas and feelings and emotions and all everything all wrapped in one. That's our chemical buildup. That's our foundation to our lives. Every foundation, whether it be in a relationship. So relationships pretty much are foundation. I excuse me if I'm repeating myself. When you're in a relationship, when you first start off in a relationship, you don't know the person doesn't know you. What do? You ask questions. You build. You're building a foundation. You're building a common ground. The person's likes and dislikes, their peeves, their quirks, what makes them tick, what makes them frustrated, what irritates them. You're building a foundation, and you as people don't always remember that here's the person's triggers, here's what the person doesn't like and dislike. Sometimes you may know that, and it's just you're so wrapped up in trying to please someone that you forget that sometimes that person just wants a bit of your time. And building that foundation where time and energy and effort is there, you gradually learn that everybody is looking for time. Everybody's looking for someone's time. Not we have 24 hours in a day, but we don't have too much time. Typically, if you sleep like 8 hours. Let's say on a general thesis, what the doctors say, we'll just say that everybody sleeps 8 hours a day, right? So there goes 8 of the 24. Then you work for like 8 hours or so, right? That's another 8 hours. Then that leaves you with what, 16 hours? You eat, you do your miscellaneous things. That's another 8 hours. And then it's time for you to go to sleep. You know, that's another 8 hours, whether you go to school or go to work. 24 hours in a day. But it's about how you manage your time. and this is a foundation. And even finding time is building a foundation. A foundation can be many things, but I want to get into some quotes that by people that speak about foundation, and we'll be right back. I found a few, but I do not exactly know the author for this one. So if I do not say the author's name, forgive me. I see one from Michael Leonard. A strong foundation is a key to creating long-term success. See, even in success, you need a foundation. In order to create success, he says again, a strong foundation is the key to creating long-term success. So if you have a strong foundation, you can create long-term success, but it's building blocks. You got to build upon it. It's not going to be given to you. Your foundation is not going to be given to you. People can give you the tools for a steady foundation, but it's up to you as the person to establish the foundation that you need to achieve, to succeed in what you need. So, pretty much, that is one of the quotes. And then there's another one. This one is by Gordon B. Hicken, I believe. You can't build a great foundation on a weak foundation. No, actually, I misquoted that. You can't build a great building on a weak foundation. Just like in relationships, friendships, and your personal goals. If you don't have a strong foundation, you will fall. If you don't find out the tools and the resources you need to make that relationship, that friendship, the keys that you need to succeed, if you don't have a strong foundation, it's going to fall. It's going to fall. And here's another quote from Lou Holtz. This one's from Lou Holtz this time. Build your empire on a firm foundation of the fundamentals. See, that's another thing that I forgot to mention. Now that he said that, thank you, Lou. You need fundamentals in order to build upon your success. So, foundation, building your foundation, it all starts with you. It starts with the tools that you were taught or the tools that you learned over time, be given with your life circumstances. You could be poor and still build the foundation. You could be rich as rich can be. If you don't lay the groundwork and don't work on yourself, work on the relationship that you have, or goals that you have, your foundation is gonna wobble. It's gonna fall. It is going to depreciate. It's gonna crack. So, I say this to say this. Keep on building on the foundation. Lay the groundwork. Do the work. If you don't know how to do the work, ask questions. There's Google. There's your parents. And if you don't have parents, there's other people, there's teachers, educators who are just like you, who are people and humans just like you. Even celebrities are just humans who are popular. That's all that celebrity is a popular person. Just like in high school, they had you had the popular kids, you had the geeks, the nerds, and the loners and the in-betweeners. Everybody has a role to play in this society. And building your foundation should be part and encoded in you, because no one will build your foundation for you. They can help you with the tools you need to succeed at building upon that foundation. So whatever foundation you need or you're working towards, that you're trying to build upon, go for it. Reach your goals. Strive and achieve. Keep believing in yourself. Build your foundation, build your relationships, talk it out. If there's an issue, talk it out. You may not talk it the same day. You may be the type of person like myself who stays quiet, who can go without talking to someone for weeks on end when I'm upset. It's not always the healthiest, but that's the way I cope with things. I analyze things. I try to put the pieces together like I'm building my foundation, building my wealth, building my sanity, building me up. I had to submerge myself this year 2023. I was broken. I went through some of the worst things possible, things that could kill anyone. Shock, disappointment, pain, anger, sadness, all destroyed my foundation. And I played a role in my foundation crumbling. And now I had to do internal work. And I'm still a work in progress. You know how they say Rome wasn't built in a day? It truly wasn't. I had to go. I had to be here. See, this is my phone, right? I was at the top, or at the top of where I wasn't where I needed to be, but wasn't where I was before. And then everything came crashing down all at once. Problems after problems after problems. And if I let the problems had dominated me, I probably wouldn't be here speaking to you guys. This is my therapy. I wish I can reach someone. I know there's someone out there going through the same trials and tribulations I'm going through. Everybody faces trials and tribulations, but I'm telling you, get up, lay the groundwork, do the work, work on yourself, and reestablish yourself, reestablish your core values, reestablish your, reestablish. Don't even think about wealth right now. Wealth is important, establishing wealth, but you must find it within yourself to build yourself to get to the point where your wealth grows. Put your mind to work. Everybody got a brain, but not everybody knows how to use that brain effectively. To Because everybody learns different. Everybody learns different. There are people who are visual learners. There are people who are audio who listen and learn. I'm a visual learner. I see things and I'm able to do it. I have to watch and observe so I can learn. But when it comes to languages, I'm an audio learner. I pick it up by listening to the dialect, feel the touch. Sometimes, sometimes if you want to get sometimes when you fall back down, I know I'm getting all over the place, but I'm very passionate about this because I was down, I was out, I was I was falling, I was depressed, I was sad, I was in a place where I did not want to be. I had no idea that I could have depression or I could experience depression. I got hit where I never thought I would recover. I'm recovering day by day, and I'm taking it day by day. I'm regaining my confidence. I'm building my confidence back up. I'm laying the groundwork for my foundation of my confidence, of myself. Self love, self worth is all foundational. We got to breathe, we got to achieve, we got to believe. You must believe in yourself. And if you got people in your corner trying to combat for you, who trying to go for you, who trying to fight for you, family that love you, that want to see you do good, even though you don't see it, you know, it may be hard to listen to them. Must be hard to hear, I told you so. But use all that I told you so and other things as your motivation. Find your motivation, build your foundation, keep going, keep achieving, keep believing, and don't give up. Every day is tough. There's some days that I'm not certain. There's days I'm not certain what's gonna go on, what's gonna happen. But prayer, meditation, whatever you guys do, sometimes you gotta go back to ground zero, rebuild. When they crush you, when you get crushed, when things get when you get knocked down a peg, reevaluate. Is there a crack in your foundation? Can you patch it up? Or are you gonna get it? Are you gonna get destroy that building and rebuild? Reestablish yourself, reestablish your identity, reestablish who you are. Don't give up. Don't give up. Lively up yourself, like in the words of Bob Marley. Keep your head up, in the words of Tupac Amaru Shakur. And in the words of Yvens Darilus, don't stop. Keep achieving. Keep believing. Keep striving. Because we can do anything we set our minds to. We're going to build that foundation brick by brick. Physically, metaphorically, in your mind, even your mind can get the foundation rebuilt. If you change your mindset, if you're a negative person, if you have negative thoughts, if people put negative thoughts in your mind, you know, okay, we all have negativity that creeps in, self-doubt, depression, anxiety, loss of self-worth. But we must rebuild. Get up. I said, get up. You can go through surgery where you have to, where you're damaged. You have damage and you have to have operation. What do you have to do? You rehab. You rehab. You get yourself to a point where you're gonna walk again or you crawl again, whatever you gotta do. Some of us don't have the opportunity where we can walk and use our two legs. But some people don't give up on life. They're discouraged, but they get back up. They find what ways and other avenues to make it. And we gotta make it, y'all. We gotta make it. We gotta build that foundation. We gotta do it. It's all here. All mental. Your mental. It starts with your mental, your cerebellum. First, if you're a believer in Christ, pray to the man upstairs. Ask him to guide you, to be your redeemer. Have him walk with you. But you must build your foundation. Do not let anyone, under any circumstances, ever allow you to lose yourself worth. Rebuild. Sometimes you may have to take a step back from people, but you're going to continue to achieve and believe and survive, and you got to strive and become the best version of yourself. Do the best you can. Not every day is going to be suns, clouds, and rainbows. Not everything is sweet. Everything in life is not always sweet. There's things that are set in a place to discourage us, to get us down. But I'm here to tell you, I've been through it, so I know where you're coming from. I've experienced loss. I've experienced pain. I've experienced anger. I've experienced worries. I've experienced self-doubt, not believing that I could do something. Even this podcast, I didn't think that this podcast would ever take off the ground. I always said for years, there was people pushing me for years. I had a significant other. She was pushing me for years. If you want to do it, do it. I bought the equipment. It was sitting in the closet for 2 years, 3 years before I even opened it up and fully used it. And this year, when I was down and out, I looked at it and I said, in my time of worries and doubt, this is the time. I got to build this foundation. I got to build this podcast. I was searching for names, trying to put my family's names in it, my mother's last name and my father's last name, my lineage. I was going to call this podcast after both families' last names and call it The Experience. But then I thought to myself, the Yvens Darilus podcast, that's also nice too. It has a nice ring to it. It's my baby. I'm giving birth to it. In a metaphorically speaking, of course. But ladies and gentlemen, this will wrap up the conversation of building a foundation. We may revisit building a foundation again. So without a further ado, we will be back for Poetry Corner with Yvens Darilus. Stay tuned. We'll be back real soon. Yes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here now for Poetry Corner with Yvens Darilus. Tonight's word that we're going to be using, building or foundation. A foundation I came to build up from scratch. I was down, but I was not out. I had to restructure everything internally to come out and build this foundation that they saying that was not there. How you going to tell me that I was not the one, that I could not do it, or I could not? I know that in self-doubt. Did I scream and shout, wondering was there a way out? I'm crying. I'm lost. But to turn around, the post now found. I turned that frown upside down. Couldn't sleep with. I went to bed with disparity. Slept with loneliness. Been one with anguish. Suffering with depression. She took me for granted. And I took her for granted. So now I'm trying to smooth things over with happiness. Come here, baby. I'm sorry for what I've done. I was trying to get back to you, but worry kept whispering in my ear. Depression kept on telling me, don't worry. Don't worry. We could do it together. We could take it together. Depression told me, stay down, lay down. You don't need to go to happiness. Keep finding yourself in anguish. I had to replenish on happiness to overcome my sadness. Try to look through this world of madness. I sit here in despair, wondering, will things get better? They told me, beware. Shit, things ain't fair. You know what I do when I do what I do? I turn around and I said, I'm going to build this foundation because they don't know the life that I lead. I feel like DMX when I'm slipping, I'm falling. I can't get up. Damn. I'm slipping and I'm falling and I can't get up out of this foundation. My foundation has crumbled. There was cracks in it I did not see. I'm slipping, I'm falling, and I can't get up. Damn. Like LL, sometimes I'm alone in my room. Sometimes I stare at the wall. Then in the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call. So I'm calling to my conscience, telling me where do I have to go? Where are these emotions coming from? Conscience tells me it's in you. You doubting yourself. You must be confused. Damn. I thought I was done. I thought it was over. I don't know how I could do it. I picked my head up because Tupac told me to keep my head up. Now, when I rise up, hey, I hope things get better. What I can say, maybe this is my love letter for me to rebuild my foundation. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This was straight up freestyle off the top of the head. Thank you for tuning in to the Yvens Darilus podcast. I appreciate every single one of you who listen, who join, who support, who show your love. in some form or fashion. We are on multiple streaming apps. We are on iHeartRadio. We are on Google Podcasts. We are on Spotify. If I didn't mention it before, we are on YouTube. We are also on other streaming streaming services. No, not streaming services. But we're on a podcast pretty much near you. We're on Amazon Music. We are on Apple Music. So type in the Yvens A. Darilus podcast and you'll see it'll pop up in your search history. With that being said, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. This is your boy Yvens A. Darilus. Peace and one love.